My top 10 horror intro songs of all time. Number 5. Putting Out the Fire from Cat People. This 1982 remake of the Jacques Tourneur horror classic has a lot going for it. It has a creepy, surrealistic and erotic atmosphere, it has a kick-ass score by the legendary Giorgio Moroder, and it has a great cast, starring Malcolm McDowell and Natasha Kinski, the daughter of Klaus Kinski. Yeah, it's true, that's his daughter. How does that even happen? But the biggest reason to see this film is David Bowie's song Putting Out the Fire.
See these eyes so green.
You might also know it from Inglourious Basterds, but it was written especially for this movie, with the mysterious synth drums and Bowie's sudden animal-like explosive voice. It perfectly matches the tone of Cat People. Now granted, the movie opens with only a modest instrumental version of the song, but even then it's memorable. It manages to set the movie's dreamy mood in a matter of seconds. That's just how awesome Bowie's music is. His hypnotizing humming voice fits perfectly over the surrealistic images that look more orange than Trump's face. Number 4. The Green Slime. Let's go from a song that completely matches the tone of the movie to one that totally doesn't. I give you the theme song of The Green Slime. This is a bad movie. Quite a shock, I know. It's a well-known so bad it's good flick. It was even supposed to be the very first episode of Mystery Science Theater, but it never actually aired. Personally, I didn't enjoy this film though, not even ironically. It is very bad, very ridiculous, and the protagonist is one of the most unlikable characters I've ever seen.
Lisa, you shouldn't be in here. We haven't been through decontamination.
I'm familiar with the regulations.
I didn't say you weren't, Doctor. I'd like them run through 3 times.
The crew of this station have got more important things to do.
The command of this station reverts to you and the mission is completed and I leave. That's the way the order...
Swallow this.
This is Cape Kennedy. Go ahead.
Space Central from Gamma 3. Routine video weather report. Ready to transmit on channel 5-6. Solar magnetic...
Oh, and did I mention that this movie is fucking boring as well?
Nothing exciting ever happens around here.
Yeah, no shit. That is except for the 2 minutes when the opening song plays. Good God, how I love this song. Not only is it catchy as hell, but it just comes out of nowhere. The movie starts off as a very traditional and stiff sci-fi movie, but then the boredom is suddenly broken by some guy singing about green slime. And for 2 minutes or so, we're back to boring talk about space protocol.
Flora, that's a Class 2 asteroid.
Right. Close to 6 million tons of rock.
What the hell? Did the band just hijack the sound studio for 2 minutes and then ran away when security arrived?
First blood, come with me.
It's just so bizarre. But what else would you expect from the same director who did Battle Royale? Also, that voice reminds me of the plant from Little Shop of Horrors.
I'm just a mean green mother from outer space and
What more can I say? Hate the movie, love the song. Number 3. Spider Baby.
Brains and bones and bats and bones and teenage Strange monsters in haunted homes, a ghost on the stair, a vampire's bite. Better beware, there's a full moon tonight.
Spider Baby, or the maddest story ever told, is one of those criminally underrated exploitation gems. True, it has some flaws, like some very cartoony, almost Scooby-Doo-like characters, but there are enough elements to elevate this movie. Or at least elevate something. For one, it's one of the final and strongest performances of Wolfman veteran Lon Chaney Jr. He delivers one of the most heartbreaking scenes I've ever seen in a horror movie.
A long time ago, I promised your daddy that I'd take care of you and Ralph forever and ever. And then came this Mr. Schlocker. He was a nasty, mean man. He wanted to take you away where old Bruno would never see you again.
And he also sings the opening song.
This cannibal orgy is strange to behold, and the maddest story ever told.
It's a playful horror song with amusingly dark lyrics, and it perfectly introduces what kind of movie you're about to get. A dark and twisted horror story with a tongue-in-cheek and sarcastic undertone. The song is so catchy and the animation so kooky that it could be the intro to a Tim Burton-like Saturday morning cartoon. In fact, it does remind me of Beetlejuice. Anyway, make sure to include this song in the playlist for your next Halloween party, because it's awesome.
Cannibal spiders creep and crawl, boys and ghouls having a ball. Frankenstein, Dracula, and even the Mummy are sure to end up in somebody's tummy.
Number 2. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Much like the Killer Tomatoes movies, Killer Clowns from Outer Space is a throwback to those silly sci-fi horror movies from the 50s and 60s. You know, like these. But I find myself enjoying this movie much more, perhaps because it's not a typical bad movie parody. The clowns are actually genuinely creepy. Maybe that's because normal clowns are already scary, while tomatoes are just fucking tomatoes. And of course, being the number 2 spot, the theme song is much better as well. And how can you possibly make a song about killer clowns from outer space and make it memorable and catchy? Well, one of the greatest punk bands ever, the Dickies, did just that. And it is glorious! Crazy guitar riff based on circus music, the cheesy lyrics, the all-around uber 80s sound is just great. And it well deserves its number 2 spot on this list.
What are you gonna do?
Knock my block off.
Number 1.
Beware of the blob, it creeps and leaps and glides and slides across the floor, right through the door and all around the wall. A splotch, a blotch, be careful of the blob.
What can be better than Killer Clowns from Outer Space, I hear you ask? Well, what about a mess of red jelly from outer space? Indeed, the gold medal for Best Horror Intro Song goes to the very film Killer Clowns was ripping off, 1958's The Blob. If you'd really like to see a good and engaging monster movie about alien strawberry jam, go see the Chuck Russell remake. It's a great film. But there are still 2 reasons to see the boring original from the 50s. It stars Steve McQueen, I guess he really wanted this car too, and it has the greatest horror intro song ever, sung by the phantom group The Five Blobs, which in reality was Bernie Nee's voice duplicated 5 times, and written by Mac David and Burt Bacharach? What, did he want a bigger car to put all his other cars in? Anyway, The Blob is one of the first horror movies I saw as a kid, and since then, this theme song would randomly pop into my head and get stuck there for about a week. I mean, it was a real nuisance, it was like a cold or something. I even stopped eating fruit preserves altogether so I wouldn't make a connection with the song. It was that bad. So when a song is so catchy that you have to change your diet doesn't deserve the #1 spot on this list, I don't know what does. So there you go, the Space Jam takes the cake. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Goodbye!
Funny man, the little funny man. He's cheeky and he's cruel. Funny man, the naughty funny man. He'll play you for a fool. The joke's on you.
Funny man, the funny man. He's cheeky and he's cruel. Funny man, the naughty funny man. He'll play you for a fool. The joke's on you.